Okay, hello everybody. I would like to welcome you all to the RUDN University once again. My name is Vasiliy Lobanov. I'm the head of the Research Center for Remote Sensing here at RUDN University. And I would like to welcome you at this roundtable, which is devoted to the international university project called we call the 6 continents that we plan to start this year here at RUDN University. This is my colleague Yaroslav Vasyunin. He's the deputy director of the center, and I also would like to introduce our guest from Brazil, Mr. Antonio Prado from National Institute for Space Research, and Ms. Maria Sindra, right, from Federal Universidade Fluminense. So now my colleague will do a presentation on the project, and afterwards we will hope to spark some discussion on the topic. So, okay, thank you.
Hello. Before talking about 6 continents, let me very briefly speak about RUDN University and Engineering Academy today. It's 155 countries. Students come from these countries. More than 31,000 students. The university has a very unique experience in organization of educational and scientific activities worldwide. It was founded in 1960 by the USSR government and successfully continues to teach students from many countries. Engineering Academy is one of the most important divisions of the RUDN University. Here you see the geography of our academy. We have students from 102 countries by today, more than 3,000 students, and 35% of them by this year are foreigners. Most of the foreign students come from Africa and Asia. So the Academy has 60 years experience in preparing engineers in many different specialties. Nowadays we have 4 main areas, priority areas, at which we focused our scientific and educational activities. It's so-called Industry 4.0, which is about digital modeling of construction sites, BIM, building information models, and so on. It is system engineering of the human environment, which includes territorial planning, urban zoning, monitoring of subsidence. It's rational use of natural resources, which includes assessment of human impact on the nature, monitoring in the field of geology and natural resource use. It is development of new generation of space infrastructure, which includes development of Earth remote sensing technologies, geospatial technologies, space robotic and intelligent control systems, and so on. The key component which binds together all these 4 fields is, as we believe, remote sensing of the Earth and geospatial technologies, which are interdisciplinary by their nature. And these technologies lies in the basement of the project 6 continents, which I present now. The project, Six Continents, involves countries, universities, scientific organizations and industrial partners from all 6 continents: Africa, Europe, North America, Latin America, Asia, Australia and Oceania. This slide shows already agreements with universities already work in educational and scientific programs, academic exchange of students and professors. It works already by today. Only Australia and Oceania wait for its time, but I think we will have partners there soon. This project aims at the creation of international network to bind together scientific activities, educational programs like dual diploma programs, and industrial internships for students at major industrial companies. Institute of Space Technology, which we represent here, it's a major part of the Academy of Engineering. One-fourth of all students, they study there in the Institute of Space Technology. Has many laboratories, educational and research centers that can supply this space project, 6 continents, in all the areas related to remote sensing, aerospace engineering. The director, for instance, we have our own mission control center. The director of the center is a Russian astronaut, Nikolai Revin. Other laboratories and departments are present here. By today, we already created a strong foundation to launch this project, 6 continents. You can see educational programs in space field, infrastructure and specialists. We have scientific activities and industrial activities that we have. We already have only in the Institute of Space Technology. We have 5 master's programs in English. Also, we perform summer, winter schools and do joint researches with our organizations from other countries. RUDN, Institute of Space Technology, has access to Russian satellite imagery, like from Resource P satellite, AAS 2D satellite, that we can apply in our educational process and research activities, which is quite, I would say, unique opportunity, because not so many organizations can work with this type of data. Of course, we are not limited to apply remote sensing of the Earth only to these satellites. We work with imagery from NASA, from the European Union, from many data providers. This adds just another dimension of our image database that we can apply to solve the problems. This year we launch a joint program in the aerospace engineering together with EPF Postgraduate Engineering School in France. The students, they will study mostly in France, 3 semesters in France, 1 semester in Russia, and in the end they will get a diploma from RUDN University and from EPF school. This program is very interdisciplinary, and it took all what we wanted to put into this 6 continents program, because in this master's program students they get interdisciplinary approach to learn these materials. They do internships in industrial partners we have. They also participate in research activities. So this closed circle, industry, education and research is present in this program. We're proud of. And the reason we made this presentation and initiated this roundtable is to ask you to share your own experience in organizing such international programs, and to collaborate us, of course, in it, because, for instance, we can develop together joint educational programs. For instance, if you in space area, for instance, if your organization doesn't have a specialist to teach some specific subjects, students can study some general matters at your university and then come to our university to study some specific areas like remote sensing, ballistics, and so on. We can do joint researches, joint grant researches, and our approach in this collaboration is that we firstly want to know what your organization, institution, university needs, what are your needs, and then we can think how we can enrich you, and you enrich us in this field. So it would be nice to hear from you what maybe can you bring to us, how can we work in this field. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you once again. So thank you for the presentation, and now I would like to maybe provoke some discussion. And another initiative I would like to also propose is that we now have made a strong accent on the reader data processing here at the remote sensing center. And I know that Brazil for a long time plan to launch the SAR synthetic aperture reader satellites, and I think like SAR-1 is coming next year. Yeah, and so actually we could, for example, include maybe some data when it's became operational in our educational process to make specific applications, like solving based on the data from the satellite, or like from the CBR's satellite. So like we adapt our program for application of Russian imagery. We can also include, for example, imagery from Brazil to our program, and then share with you like maybe the workbooks and stuff. So I would like to ask if you have any thoughts on what we have presented and stuff. So.
I think it's better to go this way. Okay, I understood it. I think it's a very interesting idea. But apparently what you mean by 6 continents is that you try to find agreements with different institutions in the world, basically for a master program, right, in aerospace. That's mostly the idea.
Master's program, summer, winter schools, research, joint grant research. It's not limited just by master's program. Any bachelor programs.
Okay, so because most of us, we have different situations. I work in an institute for space research. It has a lot of space activities like remote sense and so on. We work with cybers, as you mentioned. Sara is in another institution, but it's close by. I don't know the details because I don't work there, but I can ask people, so no problem. And she is in a university where she has undergraduate classes, but she doesn't have space activities. So we complement each other. So we don't have undergraduate schools, we have only master and PhD programs. So I see possibilities in the sense of the master, as you said. If you have a master, the students will come here, they will go one semester there. That's perfectly possible to do. Or we can add some of our research in your team, as you said. I think those things are quite possible. It's a question of talking with the right people. I don't know what else.
I also know that University of Fluminense has a master's program in
Master
geoscience.
doctorate program.
In geoscience, right? In geographic.
Material science and mechanical engineering.
Yeah. So
But we don't have airspace area.
but it's also the remote sensing is more tightly connected with geoscience. Geographic information systems, remote sensing, and those fields. If I'm not mistaken, you have a master's program on the summer.
She's not sure, she will check. Because it's a big university. It's different of my case. I work in an institute with 100 people. We have 7 graduate schools, and I'm coordinator of the graduate school. So I know exactly what we have in terms of graduation. But we have, as I said, only masters and PhD programs. We have a very high quality remote sensing course that has the highest ranking in the Brazilian evaluation. That would fit perfectly in a master, join master or something like this. The aerospace engineering course also has a possibility for that. We're working with CubeSats and those things that can be done together somehow. I don't know exactly what you have in mind, like they will have classes here and do some internship there. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible in many different ways.
Yes. And in our institute, there is no tuition or fees. So if you want to send a student there, they do not have to pay anything for the school. They have just the money to survive. So it's a potential collaboration. I see it's very interesting.
Definitely. And what about the SAR satellite? So is it coming this year? I mean SAR 1 or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. SARA is made by the military institution. They are my neighbor, but I don't know exactly the timeline. But I can find out asking people.
Yeah, I'm very interested. I know that they will propose some satellites in L-band coming from
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I have to ask and send you an email later.
Exchange of data from satellites between countries also has a big interest for us.
Sibers, as far as I know, the images are free. You can get it on the internet. Am I right? I think so.
Yeah.
So with Sibers, you can just get it, everything you need. SARA, I don't know. It's another institution, but I'll find that for you.
Yeah, because it's very interesting thing. Because L-band really is kind of very interesting range, and I was reading a lot about these possibilities. When we launched the constellation, so I'm very interested in when it became operational.
Okay, I have to see how are the policy for data or things like that. I don't know about them.
Yeah.
In INPE, everything is free. So Sibers, you get images from the internet. So. But anyway, you have people working with that, so it may be good to have something joint to the research. Okay. Do you want to add something?
We have in engineering school 10 courses, 8 departments, mechanical, civil, telecommunication, production. But Rio de Janeiro have only petroleum gas industry. São Paulo, only São Paulo, aerospace engineering. Tem curso de engenharia.
São Paulo?
I don't know.
there are some applications of the remote sensing technology specifically in the oil and gas industry. Like here in Russia, there is the thing when you extract oil, the land subsides, or sometimes when you pump some liquids, it causes uplift, right? And so every oil and gas field here in Russia, it's like obligatory, has to monitor the state of the field, right? And there is a special technique called radar interferometry, where you can process a chain of satellite images and get a millimeter scale precision measurements of subsidence or uplift in the very wide area. And this is used throughout the whole Russian oil and gas fields. And this is we also do projects like this. And so once again, it's like a monitoring of the subsidence in the oil and gas extraction fields. So it's and the precision is very like geodetic measurements or GPS monitoring. So it's millimeter scale. So if an area or some building subsides just a few millimeters, you can detect it from space. And so this is
What's the relative cost of such analysis of satellite imagery for a big territory is much lower than doing ground measurements over that territory.
and it has no restrictions. Like the clouds, a cloud cover is not a problem in this case, because those are radar satellites, radar images, and it gets through the cloud. So the monitoring is constant. You get a 100% useful acquisition every time, and each new image updates the history of the subsidence across the whole field. And this is a subject of particular interest in the oil and gas industry, at least here.
Actually, this is one of our big goals, to create a very good radar course because it's very relevant to world challenges.
Yeah.
Okay, so from our side, I think we know more or less what to do. Should I open to the public to make more considerations? If someone wants to give some ideas?
Yes, if someone could add your ideas, share your experience with us, please, we would love to hear that. No?
Maybe.
Okay, you are the boss.
I think the main issues are rather clear. I would like to add something from our previous work, which was done during the last 2 years. It's still maybe new for the audience, but it's not new for us. During last at least 1 year, we had many meetings all over the world. For instance, we have signed agreements with 2 Peruvian universities, with Nigerian space agency, with one of Nigerian university. We discussed this issue with Malaysia University, with Julia. Where is she? By the way, she should be here. I don't know where is she. She promised to say a few words about this project. By the way, she is graduates at Bauman University, where I was at that time. We are familiar many years. We have strong interest in such kind of cooperation, and I think it works now really because we in these projects now. It's not our dream, because for several last years we have not only discussed this issue, but we have concrete cooperation and the level of student exchange and academic exchange. By the way, for instance, Miroslav told you about problem with this French engineering school, and he told that we plan to send our students for 3 semesters to Paris, and I would like to stress that we will send also our professors there. They asked for academic support of these courses, and we send students and professors to this university, not only students, and we will teach there students of international team of Russian and French students there for in the frame of this joint program. So it's not new. We are on the way, and I would like to support this idea. Maybe we'll have some new ideas. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So, once again, I would like to thank you all for coming here, and I hope that maybe slowly but steadily we will start to tighten this cooperation, especially, once again, I'm personally very interested from data from Brazilian satellites, and especially from SAR data, which is my personal interest. So once again, thank you all for coming here, and yeah, if there is nothing more to discuss for a moment, so I would like to finish this round table. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.